Well, hello, this is Mr. Prather, and I am so excited to be teaching math to the fifth graders at Mary Harris Mother Jones. All of the teachers have been missing all of you students very much during this time of staying at home, but we are so excited to be able to work with you in distance learning. We need to make sure that you are aware of three very important simple rules to make this distance learning successful. Number one, always be respectful when you are posting things online, whenever you are interacting with your classmates, collaborating online, always be respectful. Number two, we expect you to always to show your best effort. And number three, reach out for help. Even though we're not together at the school building, all of us teachers are available to assist students, and your parents have access to all of that information on our Google Classroom site and the Mary Harris Mother Jones Distance Learning site. So we are here for you to help you to be successful. We know this time has been difficult for all of us, but we will get through it together. Well, to get started, I have a little warm-up I would like for you to do. I need for each of you on a piece of paper to copy this picture that you see that looks like an upside down L. And when you copy this down, make sure you label all the sides. Label the top 6 feet. You're going to label this side 5 feet. You're going to label this bottom part 3 feet, and you will label that part 2 feet. Here's what I need for you to do. Once you have made a copy of this picture, I want to see if you can find the area of this entire figure. I want you to show your work and compute the area, and you can turn off the video so you can have time to work. And when you're done solving the problem, coming up with the area for this figure, you can continue the video. So I will see you in a little bit. Have fun. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed working on this problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some time to discuss different ways we could have gone about finding the area of this figure. Well, the first thing I noticed is that I can break this large figure down into 2 smaller shapes, 2 rectangles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to label this rectangle A, and I'm going to label this rectangle B. Now, in order to determine area, we need to review what area is. Area determines the number of square units it takes to fill up the inside of a shape. And when we're dealing with rectangles, does anyone remember what the formula for finding the area of a rectangle is? That's right. It is length times the width. So we're going to start with rectangle A here. To figure out the area, we need to determine the length, which is 6 feet, and the width is 2 feet. Now, it doesn't matter what side you call the length and what side you call the width. I usually refer to the longer side as being the length and the shorter side being the width, but you could switch it around. It really doesn't matter. The main thing is that you're looking at 2 different dimensions. So what I can do is since the length is 6 feet and the width is 2 feet, I can multiply 6 times 2, and I get 12. And area is always written in square units. That means we put an exponent of 2 to remind us that with area, we're dealing with 2 dimensions, length and width. So the area of rectangle A is 12 square feet. Then we're going to determine the area of rectangle B. We see that the width is 3 feet. We need to figure out the length. Now, this entire length is 5 feet, but if you notice, rectangle B only goes up this far. So we need to engage our brain and make sure we do not put 5 as the length. So we need to determine what the length is. To figure out what this length is from here to here, it's also the same here. To figure out what this distance is, I can reference what I see over here. If we know that this is 2 feet and that from here to here, we need to end up with 5 feet, what I need to ask myself is, what do I need to add to 2 feet to end up with 5 feet? And that is 3 feet. So we can, kind of like inferring, figuring out without being told, we can figure out that this distance from here to here is actually 3 feet. So it's 3 feet by 3 feet. So we would multiply, the length is 3 feet. So we're going to multiply the length of 3 times the width of 3 feet. And we get 9 square feet. Then, since we were told to find the area of the entire figure, we will then add these two areas together. So I'm going to add 12 plus 9. So I get 21 square feet for the area of the entire figure. But what I want to show you now is that we could have gone about this another way. Okay, hopefully you can see all that came out okay. We could have gone about it another way. Instead of breaking it into two shapes by drawing a line here, guess what? I could also draw a line here and create two rectangles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label this rectangle A and I'll label this rectangle B. And again, we said that the area, to find the area of a rectangle, we do length times the width. So let's start with rectangle A. We can see that the length is 5 feet, the width is 3 feet. So I'm merely going to multiply 5 times 3, and I'll get 15 square feet. And then for rectangle B, we see that the width is 2 feet, but this whole line is 6 feet, but we have to engage our brains and realize that this part of rectangle B only goes from here to here. It's not the whole thing. So we need to figure out what this part is. So what we can do is we can look at this dimension down here to figure out what this part is. So if this is 3 feet, and we know that from here to the end is 6 feet, we say, what do I need to add to 3 feet to end up with 6 feet? So we can conclude that this part here is 3 feet, because 3 feet plus 3 more feet will give us the 6 feet. So now we know the length and the width of this rectangle, rectangle B. So we're going to multiply the length times the width. We'll multiply 3 times 2, and we get 6 square feet. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the area of rectangle A and the area of rectangle B. So we're adding 15 plus 6. And look at that, we still get 21 square feet, just like we got 21 square feet for the other process. That's the thing that is so wonderful about math. There's often so many different strategies you can use and still get the right answer. So how did you do on that? I'm sure you did well. Well, today we're going to not just talk about area and perimeter, but we're going to talk about another math concept that kind of connects to area and perimeter. And that concept is called volume. Now, when you were in 4th grade, you did some work with volume, but we're going to take what you learned in 4th grade and take it to another level in 5th grade. Well, let's look at what volume is. Volume is simply the number of cubic units or cubes it takes to fill up a three-dimensional shape. Now, in our warm-up, we only dealt with two-dimensional shapes. We dealt with shapes that had a length and a width, only two dimensions. But with volume, we're dealing with three-dimensional shapes. And the three-dimensional shape we're going to primarily be focusing on is what's called a rectangular prism. And a rectangular prism or a box has length, width, and height. So it has length and width, just like those rectangles had when we did our warm-up, but it also has height, okay? So when we're dealing with volume, we're dealing with three dimensions instead of just two. And we are going to be exploring more deeply what volume is all about. And the objective that we're going to work on today is this right here. Students will determine the number of cubes it takes to fill a rectangular prism, because when you figure that out, you have determined volume. Now, to help you with volume, you're going to be watching two videos, and after you watch those two videos, you will be completing an activity, explained in Google Classroom. You'll be completing an activity, and you'll also get an opportunity to play a fun math game that will help you to more understand what volume is all about. Now, remember, the assignments that you get today, they will be due on, actually just going to get one assignment since we're starting on Wednesday today with math and we didn't meet on Monday. Usually you'll have math on Mondays and Wednesdays, but you just have math on Wednesday this week, so you just get one assignment and it will be due on Friday. So enjoy the videos and then work on the assignment and enjoy the math game. And I will talk to you soon. Have a great day of distance learning. Bye-bye.